Hi, welcome back to my studio. Today I'm going to look at my favorite topic, and that is paints. Every artist wants to try out different paints, and we're all looking for that fantastic paint that's going to transform our paintings. Okay, so maybe that's not realistic, but anyway, it's fun to do. And recently I bought and treated myself to a paint box that came filled with paints and various other art supplies. It's called the Van Gogh Inspiration Painting Box, and I bought that, as I said, as a treat to myself, and wasn't special at the time. But I was interested to also find out about the Van Gogh paints. They're made by Royal Talens, a Dutch company, and of course named after their famous son of Holland, Vincent van Gogh. So a big name to attach to your paints. So I was naturally curious to see how these paints performed. I'm not expecting fantastic things, but when you have a name like that on your paints, you want to see something that is maybe a little different. So let's have a look at the paint box first of all, and then I'll try out the paints and mix a few colors, and we'll see how they go. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got here. Attractive looking box. So let's get it open. Okay, so that is a pretty nifty looking wooden box. So clips open here, nice carrying handle. Open it up. Nice wooden palette. Been stained and varnished. And here we have the contents of the painting box. First of all, as a painting box, really impressive, and that is very smart indeed. Nice 75 mils Artist White Spirits, which is what most of us use, at least I use that. Artist White Spirits, and what have we here? The painting medium. So that's pretty handy, already ready to use. In front, a nice palette knife. Very smart, well made, looks like good quality. And two brushes, Chungking Hog Bristle. So that's a good bristle brush. Probably call this a flat, not a long flat. Nice size. Put on the small side for what I normally use, but definitely use it. And then a similar bristle, but in a round shape, which is quite handy for smaller shapes. There's a cloth, Van Gogh cloth. Over here, two clip-on containers, tin or metal containers for your spirits, white spirits and medium. I call this a dipper, and you can also clip it onto something handy, maybe the side of your painting box or your plein air box. Could even clip in here as well. A little pamphlet, looks like all about Royal Talens paints and Van Gogh paints. And here we have a set of color, 14 paints in total. Starting off with titanium white and azo yellow, basically a lemon yellow. And we'll be definitely testing these paints out and giving a review on them. So what have we got here? A yellow medium, red light, red deep, quinacridone, rose, ultramarine blue, and this Sèvres blue. Never used that color before. Check that out. Cerulean blue, emerald green. I don't know why you'd want to bother with that. Sap green. Don't really get to use that. Yellow ochre, burnt umber, ivory black. So most colors that you'll be familiar with and you'll use. A few extra you probably won't. One or two. But that depends on what you normally paint. So otherwise, a really pretty presentation box, nice contents, and make a fantastic present. We'll be testing these colors out soon, and we'll do a review of them for you and see how the Van Gogh oil colors match up. Right, I'm going to have a look at a few standard sort of colors that I use a lot, and one perhaps extra. This is just a sample painting, so we'll mix a few colors and see how it looks on there. Obviously titanium white is a fundamental color and we'll use a lot of that. I've got azo yellow lemon, which I will compare to the usual cadmium lemon. Yellow medium, azo yellow medium, which looks more like a yellow deep. Azo red light, usual red light. We have yellow ochre, cerulean blue, ultramarine blue. And these sort of, as I said, typical colors. So let's have a look at basically the titanium white, and my first impression is that looks like a nice creamy consistency, so I wouldn't have to add mediums to this. And there's also some strength to the color, and it does suggest that there is good tinting strength to this titanium white. As a comparison, here is some titanium white from an artist quality color or manufacturer. And very similar in handling. This is in fact Michael Harding, so top quality titanium white, and it perhaps feels a little thicker in consistency to the Van Gogh titanium white, but it's not much. But the Van Gogh paint is obviously going to cost a bit less as well, quite considerably less, so perhaps it is not quite up to that artist's quality. And yellow lemon, Van Gogh, yellow lemon, picking up a bit of oiliness to it, which is not a bad thing. If there is a bit of separation of oil from pigment straight out the tube, then it indicates an absence of binders. It is quite an intense looking yellow. By way of comparison, there's a cadmium yellow lemon from My Mary, and this just student quality Classico. And this appears to be, the Van Gogh paint appears to be just a bit more intense. So when mixed with some titanium white, and the Classico, so both appearing to be very similar, and I would say in the marketplace Van Gogh paint is probably competing with something like the My Mary Classico range, or perhaps other good quality, student quality type paint. Azo Red Light, quite a nice intense red light that, so quite creamy consistency. Use it straight out the tube if you want. Certainly no mediums required. And some nice intense orange. So happy about that. And let's try the Van Gogh brush. And bring in some light to this painting. So I think that works pretty well. Let's try the yellow medium. Azo Yellow Medium it's called. And quite a significant difference between that and the lemon yellow. So nice deep, very soft. I think that is fantastic looking yellow deep. I'm quite excited about that. Nice strong color. And certainly going to bring in some good strong light into this painting. A few other standard sort of colors, yellow ochre. Manufacturers generally change quite a lot when yellow ochre is concerned. But that looks like also a good strong yellow ochre. Now let's compare it with some Michael Harding yellow ochre, and you can see quite a significant difference between the two. And the third option, My Mary's yellow ochre, and also different. So the Van Gogh one, fairly light, and I would say more of a typical yellow ochre. You can warm it up some more. Pretty good. Alright, what about the blue colors? Typical colors that I use anyway, cerulean blue and ultramarine blue. You can say straight away the cerulean blue looks quite soft. It's very, very soft, somewhat oily, but also lighter, maybe more intense. Let's compare it to Classico by My Mary. I think as you can see, the My Mary Classico is a somewhat deeper cerulean blue. So the Van Gogh one, perhaps we could say a lot more intense, maybe some real Mediterranean color possibilities there. Let's bring in some of that lemon. You can see it makes a super intense green. Knock that back with a bit of red. Quite a strong red that, so that is nice. Bring in some white. And that's a beautiful. Really lovely. Ultramarine blue, I'm pretty sure that that is fairly standard in this range of paints. Looks like a strong ultramarine blue. Once again, I'll put it alongside some Classico ultramarine blue, which I can tell immediately is sort of a thicker consistency, and the Van Gogh definitely more oily and buttery. Possibly slightly lighter, but appears to be quite intense as well. But overall, the ultramarine blues I would expect to perform very similarly, and we should be able to make some excellent greens with that as well. Good strong green. Quite vibrant. I think these, as I mentioned, the nearest competitor as far as price is concerned, the Classico by My Mary, the Georgian paints, and I definitely favour these above the basic Winsor & Newton Winton range. I think they're definitely a step above that. But overall, good strong quality paint. I think as a student range, they would be above expectations. So you can't really go wrong with that. Okay, so there is the Van Gogh paints. As I said, compares very favorably against good quality student paints. These are not cheap paints. They're more mid-range, I would say. I wouldn't throw out my top quality artist paints, but I think you can do excellent work with these, and I like the fact that you can use them straight out the tube, so that is a plus. No need to really add any mediums to it, which for a student is great. Just start painting and use that thick, juicy color to make vibrant paintings, like the namesake Vincent van Gogh himself. So try them out. I'm sure you'll enjoy them as well.